Hello and welcome to Sonic Sorcery. I'm Stefan Key, your Sonic Sorcerer, and I'm super stoked to announce that my Organic Shamanic Downtempo beginner online course is available now. And in this video, I want to share a little bit about the course, of course, but also about the process behind it, because I went on a creative retreat to record this course in the end of November in 2022 when I was in Costa Rica. I'm in Guatemala at the moment, but when I was living in Costa Rica, I went into this beautiful intentional community called Awake, and I was living there for 1 week with the intention to create my very first online course. And now, after a lot of editing and post production, it's finally ready. And here you can see some impressions of the place where I was. And yeah, just to give you an idea, like what is the story behind the course? What are the energies that went into the track? Right, this is day one of the creative retreat. This is the place where I'm gonna be for 1 week. The intention to create an online course at the beautiful place called Awake, and I am in the jungle in Costa Rica and a beautiful house. Let's look inside this beautiful place. So, the kitchen, so I can cook some food, and here's the terrace, beautiful view. And this is going to be the workspace. This is where I sleep, and I still have to set up everything, the computer and all the things are not there yet, but gonna create a little studio space here, and hopefully after a week there will be a new course ready. So right now we're entering the silent time from 5 to 6. There's silence here and meditation, so that's a good moment right now for me to connect deeper, arrive fully, and set my intentions. And after that, start setting up and beginning with recording the course. So before we go into the studio, I just want to show you a little bit more about the beautiful place that I am, and the energy. Maybe you can feel it. All of this beautiful energy is going to be part of the music that we're creating in this course, right? So it's a very, very beautiful sanctuary here, and maybe let's go to the river as well, which is really beautiful to have this river cleansing and activating. So what a blessing. So here you can see the river, and you can hear it and feel it. Super beautiful. I already feel super inspired and super grateful. I'm really lucky because it's early and it's not many people here. So let's get in the studio and create some magic. Okay, and now that you have seen that, let's actually have a look at the course. So here we are at the landing page. You can see you can learn how to create your first Shamanic Downtempo track in Ableton. It's very beginner friendly, and I walk you through all the process from start to finish. And we are creating this track here. So let's have a short listen. Obviously, it's called Awake because that's the place where I was, and that's all the beauty and energy from this place. That is what inspired the track. I will skip ahead a little bit. Right, and so on. This was just a little teaser. You can listen to the track on SoundCloud or when you go to the landing page. So what is in the course? So in total, there's over 10 hours of video content. And we go through all the steps of the creative process, right? So we first gonna analyze a reference track and see what are the core elements of shamanic downtempo track, you know? So we need to know what we want to recreate for ourselves. So we create a template. And then you see those are the main elements, the atmos, the harmonies, and the rhythm. So we then check out how we're going to create all this in Ableton ourselves. And then we are having a look at effects, you know, how to use effects in order to make our sounds more interesting and immersive. And then we have a look at an arrangement. So again, we analyze a reference track to get an idea about the structure, and then we jam with what we have, and then we create the arrangement. And then we're going into mixing, a very important process as well, in order to make it sound good and balanced. And then there's the what's next section. So once you've completed the course, here are some recommendations that I have for you to continue. And super important and also really cool is the bonus content. So obviously you can download the projects, the project that I work with, and the substitute version, because the one that I use comes with plugins that you might not have, but I recreated a version for it with free plugins, and you can check it out here in this section. And then I have my templates as well, like the Downtempo Shamanico template and the Organic Shamanic House template, you know, which have a value of 105 USD in total. And you can check them out here also, like on my website. Right, my loops and sample packs to the Organic Shamanic House template and the Downtempo Shamanico. They will be part of this course. They will be included. So this helps you to kickstart your production and to, you know, have amazing sounds right from the get-go and focus on the creative process rather than spending so much time figuring out how to create all of this. So that is a very beginner-friendly support. All right, and with that being shown, I want to now give you a preview into the first chapter here, an example track analysis. Okay, so here we are in the studio in Ableton 11 suite. If you're wondering why this looks maybe a little bit different in terms of colors and stuff, if you go here to the preferences and you go to look and feel, you can see you can change the color intensity and the color hue. So maybe yours looks more like this. Here you see I'm in the dark theme, but if you go up all the way, and you can also play around with the color hue, right? So I wanted my Ableton to resemble the jungle that I'm in. And I find it pretty inspiring to look at gray boxes. So I made everything green and lush like the jungle. So yeah, that's the first thing, in case you wonder. All right, and if you are completely new to Ableton, don't worry. I will take you step by step through all the different elements and the different things. And so what you see here, all this thing is the session view, right? And Ableton is very unique in a sense that it was created for live performance first. When it was first developed, it was created as a loop performance tool, so people could play loops live. And then later it turned into a DAW, like a digital audio workstation. And if I click here, you see I can change to another view. So all of a sudden we have horizontal timeline, like from left to right. So this shows like the whole arrangement here. And this is the linear time, right? So you can see the track I created is around 7 minutes. And here you see the beats and bars. But for now, we just focus on the session view. Like for a pretty big part of the whole creative process, we focus on the session view. So I will go back to the session view. I could click here, or I could click the tab key on my keyboard. If I hit the tab key, I'm back in the session. And I will hit F11 now to have the full screen so that we can fully focus on that. I just need to click it sometimes because now I cannot access the menu. So F11 on the PC at least. I can switch between like full screen, can toggle it. All right, so let's look at the main elements of pretty much any track, but in this case of a Shamanic Downtempo track. And basically you could sum it up into 3 main categories, which would be rhythm, right? It's a dance track after all, and we work with rhythm. And then harmony. So this is all the melodic aspects, all the chords, everything that is triggering the emotion. So you could say the rhythm section responds to our body and wants to make our body move. And the harmony section is talking to our feelings, our emotions, our heart. And then, of course, very important as well, because we create an immersive journey, a shamanic journey, the atmospheres, the atmospheric landscapes and effect sounds, so that it has this kind of ceremonial ritualistic vibe, right? And these are groups which you can tell by seeing that these circles here have those lines. And if I click on this icon here, the group is actually opening up and it's showing more channels that are contained within that group. And you can see there's even a group within a group. So I have the kick here, I have a bass channel here, and I have even a percussion channel, and this is another group. So if I open this up more, you see there's a lot of percussion channels opening up. And the thing is that you can only play 1 sound per channel, and this is why I have created a different channel for each element, right? So the kick has its own channel, the bass has its own channel, and then all the percussions have their own channel. So let me close this up for now. So let's look at the harmony, what contains the harmony. So there's other 2 groups like instruments and pads, right? So let's open up the pads first. So here you see we have drones and pads. And I will get into that in a second, like what that actually is. And we will also listen to an example, right? So those are the drones and pads and the harmony section, and then the instruments. And this can be anything that creates a melody. So lead instruments, you know, like a flute or a kalimba or a synthesizer or whatever you choose as your lead instrument. So the pads are more like chord progressions, and we will start with that also in the creative process, because this is where I start always, with the pads and actually with the nature sounds. As you saw at the introduction, nature is really important, so we will focus on that first. And then let me close this and let's open this up. So here you can see we have more pads, like atmospheric pads, and then we have nature sounds. Okay, so yeah, those are basically the elements, and this can help us later to create a template So, if you are completely new and you ask yourself, man, I don't even know where to start, and this can be a good reference. And we will start by creating a template in a completely new project. As I said, we're going to create a track completely from scratch. So this was just a little introduction and a little guideline to see actually what elements are in there. And now we're actually going to listen to it, right? So we will actually listen to the track, and then I will talk a little bit about the elements. So let's open up everything here, all the groups, perks, harmonies, instruments. No, they're already open. The pads are open. Yeah. So now we have everything open. Right. So, and let's actually have a listen to the track. So it starts with the nature sound here, right? So this is the nature sound. This is a pure field recording. And then we have those Atmo pads here. These will be these ones, like this kinds of flute sounds. Right? Those are the introductory elements. And then we have this pad here as well, the synthesizer pad, the dream pad. By the way, those are all sounds from my Shamanic templates, which I will also get into a little later in the course. And then obviously we have the kick, right? So this is like the driving engine, the 4 to the floor rhythmic element. And then we have some percussions supporting the kick. So this is kind of a shaker. And then we have a melody coming. So this is a synth melody here, right? If I solo this, so this is kind of the main instrument. So by the way, if you hit S, you can solo a channel, right? And if you want to solo, this channel is the bass. If you want to channel 2 solos, if you want to solo 2 channels at the same time, you can hit Command or Control and then click. So now you can listen to the kick and the bass. And with the percussions, right? So this is the pure rhythm, just to give you an idea. So now it's just a rhythm. This would be just a harmony. And this would be just the Atmos and effects, right? And together, harmony and rhythm and effects. So you get an idea of all the different elements. And it's building, of course, like the whole idea is to create a journey and is to create tension and release. But we get deeper into this in the arrangement part of the course. So for now, it's just that you get an idea about the different elements. So here's the second melody. So this one is supporting this one. Right. Now we are getting into what we call the breakdown, which is the moment where the track comes into a very still energy, almost like, all the main elements, all the driving elements are gone. It's like the moment to breathe. It's a moment to pause, and it's also a moment to create tension, because the beat is missing and we're kind of anticipating it to come back. But it's also a beautiful moment to bring in your elements and to take the listener on another journey. So now the vibe is shifting a little bit. I'm introducing a new instrument, which is this synthesizer. And then there's also a harp coming in. right? If you hear this solo. So this harp is coming in. Those are the kind of shamanic rhythmic sounds. It's like a shaman blowing into a flute. And the rhythm section solo again. The harmony section solo. And the Atmo in effect, still just the jungle sounds. And then more percussions are coming in. And I will jump ahead a little bit. So if you are above the last channel and you see this headphone symbol here, this little white, no, not a headphone, a loudspeaker. If I click on it, I can jump in the arrangement, right? So now I can just jump here and play the last part, right? The rhythm, the harmony. So this is the end of the track. All right, so this was just to give you an idea about what are the core elements of a shamanic downtempo track. So we have the rhythm section, we have the harmony section, and the atmosphere section and effects, and what that can possibly contain, right? And we will create all of this step by step from scratch, but I just wanted to have you listen first and get an idea before we totally start really abstract, right? And what else is to say about this track? It is created in a tempo 80.40, so it's around 80 beats per minute. So it's like in the ballpark of the downtempo tempo range that I was talking about. Yeah, there's some intentional things, right? For instance, it's like 144 bars long, which I did intentionally because 144 is a light code, and also it's 80-40 instead of 80 because I like all my numbers add up to 3, 6, and 9, which is something I can get into later also in the mixing section, but it has to do with harmonic resonance. Let's say that for now. All right, so yeah, that is the first chapter, and in the next one we're going to have a look at how to create a template and then fill it up step by step with all these elements.